Hey people, what's going on? Welcome to Real Tough Talk. Tough Talk.
How is that even possible?
Tough Talk.
Whoa! Stephen J. partner goes,
Show some respect. You did not answer the question.
he's a bad man.
Bad man.
He's a bad. He finally said it.
The slipper's gone. The dress has holes in it. The cart turned to Tough Pumpkin again. So what else you gonna do?
I guess this team couldn't cover a twin mattress with a king size sheet.
Lights out season.
Lights out for you. Let's get as quick into the game as possible because I am not staying in this wig longer than I have to.
I want to part. Play it out, bro. While you talking this guy.
What's up, people? What is going on? What is going on? I want to thank y'all for joining us on a special episode of Real Tough Talk. I'm Stephen J. You already know my partner, Ghost, and we're here to go over with you the EHS Championship versus Carver Mobb and Undarated. Now, this is a rivalry game. This team has played each other in numerous leagues for numerous money. So definitely, this is a historic championship game.
And the thing about it is we were here just last year on a game just like this, on a big game where Carver was involved as well. It was great that we were able to showcase it, was able to, go through the game, and we get the privilege to go through another championship game in EHS, another big one, another rivalry game, and I'm just glad that we're able to showcase it for everybody.
Yeah, so Ghost is able to record from the bridge, which gives us a great view. If you look here, you can see the game that with Carver versus Super Friends last season, which was for the championship. Ghost was on the same thing. Now, we did a breakdown of that game, but we did it on live. A little different. This time we're doing it on Zoom. We're able to break it down more, get a little more detail, and a lot of players asked us to do it. So we did it because Pam's a guy who really supports the UFL. And Real Tough Talk, when we was a part of it. Swiss, another guy who was a part of league support, and those other guys, Chuck, Adi, Henry, too many guys to name, but they was all a part of the UFL's 10-year run. And we decided to do something special this year by breaking down the game and telling them what happened, what we think, our points. So definitely, we're going to give it to y'all Real Tough Talk style. So I'm going to get into the game. I'm going to break down some of the things that's going on just so our audience can get an idea of what's coming on. So basically, you're going to have the U versus Carver. Carver, the number 2 seed. Undarated, the number 1 seed. This is Carver's second year in the championship. They were here last year where they kind of got blown out by Super Friends. Super Friends ended the game. Super Friends going on to win that championship game. So Carver was able to get back here the next season. Undarated was here a few years ago. They won one with Chuck. I believe they won one with Akon, if I'm saying it right. But this team has been here before, but now they have an opportunity to play Carver in the championship and stop Carver from winning every league they've been a part of. This is the only league Carver has not won a championship in, and the U is the team standing in their way trying to stop them from being able to say they won a championship in every league they've been a part of. Both teams got buys coming into here, making it to the chip because they were 1 and 2 seed. Carver was able to beat Monsters Inc. 48-26. And then they was able to beat Bama in a very close game, 21-19, where Bama had opportunity to tie the game coming back in the second half, and Henry was able to make the key interception to end the game on a 2-point conversion. On the other hand, the U first had to buy in the first round. Then they came back and they ended up playing YMM. They beat YMM, I believe it was 32-23. And then they went on to play Super Friends, where they beat Super Friends 38-31. I believe that's the score. But Super Friends were able to slow down Undarated in the second half. I believe Adi only scored 1 touchdown in the second half. But at the end of the day, you got Undarated in this championship game. Adi's coming off of winning the league MVP. Adi's numbers, he had 35 touchdowns, so only 8 interceptions. So he's coming in as league MVP. This team has scored many points during the season, and Swiss is still looked to as one of the best leaders in the game. On the other side, Carver comes in with, Chuck off of a championship run in the UFL, lost a championship in that game, but he was on a run. And they come in with Henry, another guy who played well in the UFL and who also is coming in as a defensive player of the year in this championship game. So you got a lot of guys with accolades all around, and now we get to see what's going on in the game. Now, unless you're living under the rock, you wouldn't know that Carver wins this game. Carver's going to win this game, but we're going to go over what happened and what was the issues and our personal take on what happened in the game. Real tough talk style. So strap them in, get yourself ready. We're going to jump right into the game. Now we're going to jump into third down. Carver has the ball on the first drive, so we're going to jump into third down with Carver with the ball. After you're going to look here, after a short pass, Tuff throws deep to West, who has a step on Shannon in the gap. It's going to be caught in front of the end zone for the touchdown. That is going to get the extra point, was going to put Carver up 7-zip. But we're going to talk about this play as Shannon reacts late as West cuts inside. Break it down for us, Ghost, on that play.
I mean, obviously, Shannon's watching the quarterback. If you know Shannon's game, Shannon's good at cutting off the ball and snatching the ball, using his speed to get to the ball before the receiver can react. So he's looking to make a play, but he's not looking at the receiver that he's guarding. He's not paying attention to West. And if you look here, Swiss is even pointing him out for Shannon to pick him up. But Shannon does not react to him, and by that time, West is already breaking down the cutting to the opposite side of the field. By the time Shannon reacts, he's already beat, and the ball is thrown right to where only West can get it. That was a perfect pass that was played to the fact that Shannon was not necessarily reacting in time, trying to make a play, and gets caught off guard.
Now, I don't think Shannon should be playing the free safety. Now, this U team, they don't have Pablo here, and Mo is not here. I don't think Mo played with them this season. Usually those are the guys that's at the safeties. Shannon's a little undersized, but my other issue is Shannon's a guy that's good at jumping around, but he tends to look at the quarterback too long. Yeah. He gets caught looking at the quarterback. Now, the key about this play is the play takes long to develop. If the play takes long to develop, that means they were going after Shannon on this play. He allowed West to make his move, and then West turns it up. So that means Chuck made this play designed to go after Shannon, and it's successful with it, and they're able to score. Now Adi gets the ball back. We're gonna jump into it. Adi here throws to Akon in the gap for a short gain. Way to try to start off the momentum. Now look at this play here, third and long. Adi's gonna throw deep to PG in the middle. It's gonna be overthrown, incomplete. Undarated was gonna have to punt. Thing about EHS is you can't afford to give plays away. And to give a play away, I think that was a huge miss on this throw.
I mean, but the thing about it is, if you're gonna make a play like that, you shouldn't be downfield on third down. You need to get more yardage on this drive, and because he doesn't, he's forced to go downfield on third down. Obviously, if you don't get it, you're forced to punt. So that's why the first 2 downs in EHS is key to your drive. If you do not get enough yards on first or second down, the defense is knowing that you're going to play deep. So they're going to be able to play back there and stay with you and make the quarterback forced to throw as accurate as possible. He's not able to do it there, and because of that, they end up punting the ball there.
Now, Chuck gets the ball back. Remember, they're up 7-zip. Now, the key now is, one thing I'm going to go over is Carver made some drastic changes from their team last year to their team this year. I'm going to go over the offense real quick. Last year, the starting offense in the game last year when they played Super Friends was Chuck at quarterback, Sal and Henry's at the wides. You're going to have Bo and Cable at the slots, and you have Boo Boo and Wes as the tight ends in the gap. And obviously that rotates, but I'm just giving you the idea of what they have. This championship game, they changed it up dramatically. You're going to have Wes Green, Nas, Boo Boo, Henry, and the other West from Expo on the starting order for offense. So they changed Bo, they changed Cabby, and they changed Sal. All they did was they got more size and more athletes. That's what I think. They upgraded because they was undersized versus Super Friends, and they went out and they got a lot of playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. We'll tell you how they changed on the defensive side of the ball on the next drive, but that's what they got on the offensive side of the ball. Now, Chuck is going to throw ahead of Nas in the gap for a decent game. Remember, didn't have Nas last season in the championship. Second down, Chuck is going to throw deep to West, open on the sideline for a big gain. As you look, Chuck makes a nice throw over CJ, finding West. Now, CJ's another guy I believe from Expo, but to me, he didn't look comfortable here. And Chuck exactly knows who to go after because he knows this youth team well, having played him so much. Tell me about this play.
I mean, he obviously caught him off guard. CJ looked like he thought he was able to make a play, but that ball sailed right over his head. And that's because he's looking at the ball more than looking at the receiver. West breaks away as he cuts across the field. Right there, CJ's supposed to stay with him. He's trying to make a play, trying to cut off the ball. Chuck is able to sail it right over CJ. CJ's not able to make that play on the defense. And because of that, they get a big play. So you do not give them this much space when you're trying to look at and track the quarterback. Because of that, Chuck is able to abuse that and take advantage. And that's why West was able to make that big play there.
Now you're going to have Chuck is going on the 3rd and goal. Chuck is going to find Boo in the front in the end zone for the touchdown. But no need to break this down because why? Reem gets flagged for the holding. It's going to replay it down, 5 yards. Then Carver gets called for offsides, which pushes them back. They just lost 10 yards. That is a huge momentum spin for Underrated because it's just like you pushed them back 10 yards. That's a huge part of the field. But the problem with this is, next play, Chuck is able to find Reed in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. Michael gets the extra point. Now it is 14-0 Carver. If you look here, the defense is playing man, but BG is playing zone looking for help. Look at BG in the middle of the field. He's not guarding no one. Look around the field. Look at all these matchups. Ghost is circling it. These are all matchups. Everybody's locked up. They're in a man. My problem with BG is, who is he looking for? He's pointing out somebody. He doesn't have anybody. And Reed, who plays quarterback, also knows to find a passing lane for his quarterback. Chuck finds him. That's 14-0 right away.
And one thing that frustrates me is if you watch Carver play, you see them do plays like this before. What they do is they go out on an overload and they create a cluster where their receivers are crossing around each other, which causes the defenders to get cut off on those routes. So if you look here, there's 4 receivers in the same vicinity. One breaks off, that's Reed. So Brandon is supposed to find a way to fight through that. Now, oftentimes they get cut off on their route, and that creates separation for the receiver. But Brandon doesn't even try to go after Reed. He's looking for help, even though everybody else is man. If you look at everybody else, as the receiver's coming in, picks up a man. They pick up a man, they stay with that man. But because BG is playing zone, looking for the receiver to come to him and look for somebody else to switch, nobody picks up Reem, and Reem is left wide open for the touchdown. I've seen Carver do this multiple times, so the defenders have to be on it. BG was not, and he was the only person left not guarding his man for the touchdown.
And they knew they was in the man because they all bunched the middle on the routes. If you see, that's how Reem is able to bounce back to the outside and get open. So they're known that it's in the man. On this play, when they bunch up, you got to go zone and then pick up. I think sometimes you gets caught up trying to play man, play dominant man. And the thing is, when they know what you're doing and it's not disguised, Chuck is one of the best quarterbacks in the game. Panthers are great strategists. They're going to attack you, and that's what they do here. Now we're going to have Underrated getting the ball back. Adi's going to throw deep to Matt, wide open in the gap for a nice game. Now, what I like about this is Matt is a very underrated player, no point intended. But he's a guy that you got to get involved in the offense. And they do here. The difference with this thing is they go after Avilo. Now, last season, Carver's defense was Mijo, Sal, Sherm, Avilo, Jay, Leo, and Henry. This year, then this game, a few times, remember, they switch it up, but what we see there is Mijo, but instead of Sal, they got Nas. Instead of Sherm, who goes to Underrated, they got Reem. Now, they still got Jay and Avilo, and they got Leo and Henry. But the thing is, Avilo in last year's tip game, he played the middle linebacker. This game, they got Alvaro on the corner. Now, it got him kind of isolated. So I think Alvaro is given a little too much cushion because he's not comfortable with the safety over the top. So he's going to give a lot of cushion. We're going to see a lot of this during the game. But he gives cushion, and they go after him. We're going to have 3rd and goal. Adi's going to throw the Ed in the front of the end zone, off target, dropped by Ed, picked off by Henry. Remember, Henry's the reigning defensive player of the year. So wherever the football's at, this guy hunts it down and smells it, and he makes a pick here. The problem with this play is, again, Adi, the bad man he is, Mijo is not there because he's just a guy that's looking just to be standing on the field. Mijo is looking to make a play. Mijo's just there to give him the ball. That's his job. You remember in the movie Creed, when the guy said, "We're not singing, we're not dancing, we fight." Mijo's not there to play offense. He's not on special teams, even though there's no special teams. He's there to give him the ball. That's what he does. And here, he uses the reach that he has. And because Adi did not move back, he attempts to throw the ball around him, which is off target because Ed is wide open. Ed attempts to save it. He's not able to. He tips it. Henry comes home with a big pick on 3rd and goal. Huge play.
Now, like you said, Mijo's here to give him the ball. And the thing about it is, it's not like Mijo is, breaking a sack record or anything like that. He's there because of his size. And the key thing about him is he gets in the quarterback's eyes. His arm length, his wingspan that is his bread and butter. That is why Carver had him here for years. And that is why quarterbacks have to know to give themselves cushion if they're going to throw past Mijo. And on these end zone plays, that's when Mijo is key. And because he's forced to change the way the pass is thrown, that's what gives the defense opportunity to get a hand in it and that leads to interception in.
Remember, that's 2 drives that they've been stopped already. The score is 14-0 Carver. Chuck gets the ball, and with 2 passes on the sideline, he gets a decent game. 4th and goal at the 20-yard line. Chuck is going to throw the ball up to Leo, who catches it over Shannon in the end zone for the touchdown. That is a 20-0 lead. My problem with this is a huge play, but there's so much stuff wrong with this play. First of all, they're going man. So because of that and because of Carver's speed, they put Dev in the giver. Now, the only problem with that is they send help. The problem is they send help coming from the right side if you look on the field. Andy's coming in. Because Andy comes in, what does that do? It isolates Shannon one-on-one. Leo, if you look at the route that Leo run, Leo's already trying to get inside of Shannon. Now, Shannon has to be in front of him. He's bigger than Shannon. He can jump higher than Shannon. But if Shannon can get in front of him, it's going to make Chuck not take the risk because if Shannon jumps the route, that's 6 points. But Leo uses his body. If you look here on this part right here, Twist is on Nas. Nas beats him. Nas is open right here. If you look at Chuck, Chuck never looks at Nas. Why? They're going after Shannon. Leo's able to go upstairs, get the ball on the 6th floor while he drops Shannon off at the 3rd and scored a touchdown. This guy basically went up in the air and caught the ball on the way down. Touchdown, 20-0, Carver Mobb.
I mean, that wasn't more of a cut touchdown pass than it was a rebound in basketball. Yeah. That was literally a rebound. That's all he did. When he jumped, what he did was, and this is to show that this was a play that was fully intended for this to happen this way. And because Andy has to lead to help with the rush, that seals the deal for that play. If Andy stays and lets Dev put on work to try to get Chuck, that play is probably broken up because now you have an extra defender that's there to help. But that play was perfectly set up by the fact that forced Andy to help, and that left Shannon by himself. None against Shannon. He's a speedy defender, but on a guy that's oversized, that's over his size, like Leo, he had no chance, and it showed on that play right there.
Listen, it's no disrespect to him, but in basketball, if you got a big man in the post, I don't care if you have a Russell Westbrook. I don't care if you got a guy with a lot of energy. There's no way he's going to do anything because of size. And then when they go up for the ball, he just can out-jump you because he's already got the height and he can go upstairs. Again, Shannon's not the kind of guy that's going to jump out the gym and get the ball. Shannon's a type of guy, he can jump around and get you. That's why I think he was kind of a liability to put at the safety because it's too much space. You put him to the outside, he has a sideline to help him, and his speed is there. You go over the top, he may have safety help, but because of these plays, he's at the free safety or he's isolated on his own, these are the mistakes he's making. Now, right now, the score is 20-0. Undarated gets the ball back. Adi with 2 passes to Buck on the sideline for a nice game, getting them near the 10-yard line. I think Buck should have been involved with the offense a lot of time. Buck is a good offensive weapon. You got to get this guy involved. He has good speed. He knows when to turn it up, and he knows how to make moves in and out of his cut. They're finding him on this drive, moving the ball for a nice game. 4th and goal. Adi's going to throw the Swiss in the back of the end zone. The ball is going to be dropped, turnover on downs. My problem with this play is, if you look at the route, let's look at the route in slow-mo. Stop it right here. Swiss is open. If you look at this, Swiss beats Henry to the outside. He beats him. He's open. Adi does not make an accurate throw. Swiss is open if he throws the ball out here. Let Swiss meet the ball. He does it. He kind of throws it a little behind him. Swiss has to attempt to make the catch, and it's going to be dropped. Now, listen. This is on, I say this is 90% on Adi, 10% on Swiss.
So then it's on Adi. What's the point of having a percentage?
I'm going to change it. That's a good point.
Yeah, come on, man.
It's 70% Adi, 30% Swiss. Reason I say I'm getting Swiss 30% is because when you're a great player, you got to make great plays. That's the bottom line. Now, I only put 30% on him because he had one of the best defenders, the reigning league MVP beat, and Adi missed the throw. But Swiss, being the greatest leader in football, has to find a way to catch this ball because it changes the whole momentum of the team. We're going to go to the last drive. Right now, it is 20-0. Carver gets the ball back. Chuck is going to throw out Kareem, I believe. It goes out of bounds, no catch. Then he takes a shot downfield, misses that throw. Then we go to this. We're going to get a shout out right here for the camera work. The only man here, Leak, that had the video, because Ghost missed it because it happened so fast. Lou missed it because it happened so fast. If you look at this play, Carver has no timeouts. He's going to make a throw to the sideline to Henry. Henry's supposed to get out of bounds. He doesn't. He gets tagged in bounds. As you see Chuck running to the line, hoping to get the last play. Remember, he can't spike it because that was 3rd down. So he's running to the line to call height. Listen to what you hear. Undarated called a timeout with, I believe, 11 to 7 seconds on the clock. You hear it loud as day. Game is stopped. It's a timeout. The U is upset. Swiss is upset. Adi's upset. Why did y'all stop the clock? And it's because one of the members on the U's team called timeout. Got to get the name. Right now, you'll see the name flashing on the field, on the screen, because I didn't get the confirmation until I'm gonna get it. So you'll see the name. But I believe it's Wall Street's brother that called the timeout, and I'll make sure we put that on the screen. But in the EHS, any player that's a part of your team can call timeout. So it was discussed in the beginning of the game. The refs will only give the score and the downs to the coach, the defensive captain, and the quarterback. But anybody can be acknowledged for a timeout on the team because we went through situations in the past where one guy wanted a timeout from the sideline, the field didn't want it, and then they said, don't matter, we call timeout, you got to give it to them, the teams have lost games. So EHS went into the rules saying anybody will be acknowledged a timeout. Last week, Joe Blow, who has not played with Carver all season, was there. Moya, believe the week before, who has not played with Carver, not the week before on the regular season, is on the entourage. He got a flag. Last week, Joe Blow got a flag. So if your entourage, you don't control your silent entourage, you get a flag. They got the timeout granted that they called. One of the officials said, I heard this guy call a timeout and pointed him out. At the end of the day, a timeout is a timeout. Now, obviously, we're going over it because something happens.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can discuss all of it after we go over the last play. Chuck gets one more play. Call a play. They're going to go downfield, and Chuck is going to throw the ball up. You take us away with the play.
Now, if you look here, the ball is thrown up. I'm going to tell you pretty much what happened, and I'm going to break it down. Chuck throws it up. Everybody goes for the ball. It is tipped by West of Expo, and Henry catches it in the back of the end zone for the score. They get the touchdown. Now, the players review. They challenge the play. We look at it, and the play stands. We look at it, Henry's inbounds as he catches the ball, and it's called a touchdown. The play stands. But I'm going to break down how this happened, because this was a planned play. If you look, as everybody goes out, Chuck, as he throws the ball up, look at where everybody's positioned. You see all of Underrated's defense all go for the ball. They're in the pack, all going for the ball. There's two people inside that pack going up for the ball. That is West of Expo, and that is Leo. Those are the only two guys of Carver in the pack. And why is there only two people going for the ball? Because everybody else is looking for the drop. You look in the front, you see Boo Boo, and I believe that's Davin. And
it'll be on the screen.
Yeah. Davin and Boo Boo in front of the end zone. And then you have Henry and Reem in the back of the end zone. They're both there in case the ball drops into the either front of the end zone or the back. There's no way anybody at you can able to make a play on it if they don't get it on an initial tip. So the ball is tipped, and it goes right to who? Henry waiting in the back of the end zone. I've seen Carver do this multiple times where they set it up, not because they're looking for the guy to jump it out of the gym and catch it over 80 million guys. They just need the guy to go up there and get the hand on it. So the guy on the outside or in the front can catch the ball for the touchdown. And what the U does wrong, everybody goes for the ball. There should be at least three guys outside looking for the hit. Put a body on somebody.
The ball is tipped. So
yes, as soon as the ball is tipped, everybody should be on the floor. Everybody. But because everybody's going for the ball, that leaves Carver untouched with one of their guys, Henry, in the back of the end zone for the easy touchdown. This was a planned play from a Hail Mary. Two mistakes, because everybody goes for the ball, and because they call timeout. They don't call timeout, none of this happens because the ball runs. Because Henry was inbounds. So there was so many mistakes done, and this just dictates how bad the U has been playing. The decision making was off. Everything was off, and they didn't notice Carver schemes, and because of that, they are down 4 scores in the first half.
And now the score is 26-0, and we're gonna go into the half.
Mm-hmm.
What's my issue? The U came out flat. The U didn't come out looking to say, you know what? We're the best team in the city, not Carver. We've been here. And the problem that I have is I need other guys on the U to step up. Swiss has made a career off of doing that. And I've always said it, and I've told him in his face, and I told him in the UFL, I need Shannon to be that guy. There's many guys in football. Shannon is top 3 that I will pay money to watch. I would pay money to watch Shannon play. It's not a lot of plays you can say that about. Street Bowl 2 had a segment that me and you did that was just about Shannon. That's the player I need. I don't need the Shannon on Instagram telling how people hate him. I don't need the Shannon that's sitting down saying, all y'all hate don't bother me. I need the Shannon that's a dog. I need Shannon that's the most electrifying player in football. I need Shannon where the U and 99 Problems and all the teams he played with look for opportunity to get him the football. He didn't have that dog in him. He didn't. Adi cannot have an MVP, throw 35 touchdowns, and goes into the half with no points. Can't happen. And that's my issue with Adi. One of the top guys in football. But at times, he doesn't take over games like he needs to. In UFL, Adi won 2 championships, right? He wasn't the championship MVP in neither one of them. Slasher, free our man Slasher, 3 touchdowns versus Grind Time. And Swiss, big touchdown, 3 sacks, huge game versus them Gets. I need Adi to be that guy and say, Chuck, I can match everything you can do. And he made several mistakes in the first half that I think hurt this team. And that's my issue with them. Carver kept going up. And you can tell Carver watched film. They watched the games because these plays that they're calling is to attack certain guys. And the U did not attack. In the first half, the one person that I thought was a technical liability, especially in the corner position, which was Alvin.
Yeah. And the thing about that is, if you notice, Carver has not gotten stopped at all this game.
No.
At all. 4 straight drives, 4 straight touchdowns. Even that Hail Mary was a planned play that the defense couldn't stop. So every time Chuck was lined up on the field at quarterback, every time his offense got on the field, they scored.
And last thing before we go into the second half, when you have your entourage and you have your guys there, you got to let them know, do your job and cheer. We don't need everybody to be a coach. That timeout was key. Carver had no timeouts, and it was 4th down. Chuck cannot spike the ball. But they didn't do that. Somebody called the timeout, which it was caught on film. Carver had an opportunity to strategize the last play, and they scored. We're going to jump into the second half. Undarated gets the ball in the second half. We're going to go to third down. Third down. At the 20-yard line, Adi throws deep to Buck, open near the sideline, caught in the front of the end zone for the touchdown. Matt gets the extra point. It's going to be 26-7. What happened on that play? Alvaro steps up on the sideline, and Buck is left open. Second half, they went after Alvaro, and they're able to capitalize, and they score a touchdown. This is something that should have been happening in the first half. This is something that Buck should have been getting the ball from before. He made a big play earlier. He makes a big play here, and they finally get a score. They scored their first touchdown in the second half.
And the thing about it is they did that by going after the one person they should have been going after all game. And that was Alvaro. Alvaro, in terms of who you match up with, that's the person I'm attacking. I'm sending every one of my guys after him on each and every drive. At least one play, we're going straight at Alvaro. Alvaro has to earn his stripes on his defense. No disrespect to him or whatnot, but he is not the best defender on that field. So I'm going after him. And that's exactly what they do with Buck. The thing with Buck is, you see a glimpse of Buck having some good plays in the first half. They did not go to him enough in the first half. Finally, they get him the ball in big plays like this, and they get to score in a big play in the first half. And that was on third down. Yeah. There's no other way there's no other place they could have went. They had to go deep. And Alvaro, what is he stepping up for? There's no reason to step up. Let the defense come to you. Where are you going?
Let the offense come to you.
Let the offense come to you. Where are you going? Let the play come to you. You step up. That gave Buck the easy opportunity to get the pass, and Adi's able to find him for the score there.
I think he's uncomfortable in the corner position because he plays the corner like he's slow. Alvaro has some speed, but because we're in the corner, sometimes you're on an island. He's giving too much cushion.
Yeah.
And if you look here, Henry gets to the ball late, but Henry already thinking that Alvaro is there. because he's calling them out, and Alvaro doesn't pick him up, and they're able to score. Carver gets the ball back. Third down after incomplete pass, Chuck with blocking from Reed, rolls left, pump shakes Akon, and throws the boo-boo open in the gap for a nice game, getting them near the 10-yard line. If you look here, Shannon bites on the fake to West, leaving boo-boo open. Again, first of all, Reem is blocking. Y'all guys, listen, Reem plays offense, Reem plays defense, he throws the football. Now he's blocking. If y'all guys can't get past Reem, something is wrong. Then, Akon, what the hell, gets caught on the pump. Why? I'm telling you why I'm not biting on that pump if I'm going after Chuck. I'm getting a shot at Chuck. I'm not trying to hurt him, but anytime a defense gets the opportunity to have a clean shot at the quarterback, especially a quarterback that's hot, you take it. Akon gets caught with a pump, which hurts him. And then Shannon sits on the pump to fake the pump fake to West, leaving Boo Boo open in the gap. Attacking Shannon again, he bites on his play. There's no need to bite. You got speed. If he makes a throw, you're jumping that. But Shannon bites, he went after him again, and Boo Boo gets the pass. Fourth down, during a free play, Chuck rolls left, finds Henry in the end zone for the touchdown. Offsides on the give up. It's going to be declined. 33-7, Carver Mobb. They score again.
And the thing about it is that one play just dictates how great Chuck still is. You know, obviously he ain't no spring chicken. You know, he's kind of getting up there in the years, but he shows that his IQ at quarterback is second to none. You see here, he does two things with one move. With the pump, he catches Akon, and he also has Shannon jump on a bite on the pump that gives Boo Boo the opportunity to run to the other side. So he is showing why he is still the GOAT at quarterback, because he's able to make decisions like this on plays that break down and is still able to get success out of them anyway.
Score is 33-7. Adi gets the ball back. Second out, he's going to throw the Buck, cutting in the gap for a nice game. Once again, Buck getting involved in the offense where he should have gotten the ball in the first half. Third down, Adi throws the Buck in the middle, getting him to the 5-yard line. And Khalil gets flagged for a tackling. That was frustration because Buck got there with the ball. So now you're frustrating them. Now, mind you, Carver's playing a prevent. They're dropping back, giving Adi the field. But Adi's attacking where he needs to attack. Yeah. You're not going to get Lil over the top, but you can get him inside. Great play there. Fourth and goal. Adi finds Ed in the front of the end zone for the touchdown. 33-13. They finally score on back-to-back possessions.
And the funny thing is, they were in the red zone, I believe, 3 times. Twice in the first half, and they could not score. They get at least one touchdown in that first half. This is a different game. Take away that Hail Mary, you score on that play with Swiss, or you score on that first play with Ed, and you score here, completely different game. This is what they should have did in the first half. Adi give himself some space, able to find Ed in the front of the end zone. Him finding Buck, and that was key to their offense. It's not working with Swiss. It's not working with Shannon. You're struggling to find Matt. You got to give the ball to Buck. That's what he's there for. And finally, they're able to connect with him, and they get their second touchdown in a row in the second half.
All right. Chuck with blocking by West. Throws the boo-boo open on the sideline for a decent game. If you look here, CJ is left guarding 2 as Swiss steps up to rush him. They don't know. They're not even attacking right. Swiss comes in, and CJ's guarding 2 people. So they already know, like, I don't think Undarated strategized in case Carver leads the blocker, what side they're going at one time. It was just free for all. Swiss went here, left CJ on 2. Andy went on the other one, left Shannon on a 1-on-1. So they didn't even strategize for that. I don't think they were prepared, and that's a big play there. Second down, Chuck with blocked by West is still sacked by Matt. Great play by Matt, coming over with a huge sack. The defense stepping up, making a play. Third down, Chuck on 5 rush, throws a boomer on the sideline, almost picked off by Sherm. Carver has to punt for the first time in the game. Carver punts on their 6th possession. They got stopped on possession number 6. Underrated makes their first stop.
And the thing about this game, obviously one key to why Chuck and this Carver Mobb offense was able to score so easily because there was no pressure, virtually no pressure in this game. Dev was not able to get through Reem and whatever, I believe, whichever ball giver, because I think they switched out in this drive, was not able to get through West on that big play there on in this drive. So one person that I say is a person that is good at getting through givers, I'm getting through the block to try to get some pressure on Chuck. They should have put Akon in.
Absolutely.
Akon is one person that can bully his way through and put some pressure on
and replace him with Matt on defense. Put Matt on D and then Akon giving the ball. I agree.
So my thing is, I've seen Akon prevent touchdown passes because he comes in our league in the UFL.
He sacked Shannon.
Yes, on a key
in
play.
Overtime.
In overtime to
send the game.
To send the game to overtime. Yep. So my thing is, Akon has been in this position before. That's what you need. You need to put pressure on the quarterback. And because they haven't, that's why Chuck has been so successful throughout the game. They needed to make a switch. So that's why I believe that big sack by Matt made a difference. Because they finally put pressure on Chuck. That is how you give chances to your defense. Because Chuck has so much time, he's able to do pretty much whatever he wants. You put pressure on him, you make a stop. That's exactly what happened here. That is the difference in the defense in this game.
Second down. Adi goes to Swiss, cutting in the gap for a decent game, getting him to the 20-yard line. Third down, Adi on 5 rush, throws him Matt in the back of the end zone, picked up by Khalil, giving the ball right back to Carver. If you look here, Shannon is open short. Once again on 5 rush, once again in the red zone, Adi makes a mistake and throws an interception. His second interception of the day.
I mean, what else can you say? Adi here was under pressure, trying to make a big play. He's already down a big deficit. So this is when you start making mistakes at the end of the game. When you're already down by about 3 scores, you're trying to make something happen. And this is what happened. Because they were struggling all game to score in the red zone, it falls into key plays like this. And that's because, you mentioned before that Adi's a confident guy. Adi's a guy that feeds off of confidence. Because nothing else is really working and he has to work, almost an insurmountable, lead that they have to catch up on. You make mistakes, and that's exactly what happened here. That's the main thing that I see happen on this drive. He doesn't make a good throw here, and the defense able to capitalize with Khalil making an interception. That's unfortunate because this game could have been much different if plays were made early on. But it's because you're trying to force something to happen, it leads to interception here.
Chuck gets the ball back with 2 passes. The cable guy in the gap for a nice gain, getting him to the 10-yard line. 3rd and goal, Chuck pump fakes, rolls left, finds West open in the end zone for the touchdown, ending the game. Carver wins the game 39-13 on the blowout.
And I believe Chuck, pretty much we announced Chuck gets championship MVP.
Yeah,
he scored 6 touchdowns this game. 6. What else can you say? This defense did not do anything to sway Chuck from playing his game. And I think that was ultimately why they ended up losing this game. Yes, the offense struggled. Yes, sometimes the defense feeds off of the offense's success. But ultimately, this defense came out flat from the beginning to the end. And that is why I believe the opposite happened. The defense was struggling, so the offense, under pressure to make something happen, they make mistakes. They're not as efficient because they're playing off of the defense. And I believe that is ultimately why this outcome is the way it is, because the defense is kind of what struggled throughout, and they did not pick up. Even till the end, they weren't able to stop Chuck. One time is not enough.
I'm going to disagree with you. The U versus YMM in the 2nd round, they beat them 32-23. They gave them 23 points.
All right.
The U versus Super Friends, they won that game. I believe it was 38-31. Gave up 31 points.
They've
been giving up points the whole playoffs.
Yes, I get that.
So the difference was, there was 32 points they scored versus YMM, 38 points they scored versus Super Friends, 13 points they scored versus Carver.
I got you.
That
But
offense,
look,
that offense
but I'm gonna
let
tell
them
you.
down.
Yes.
Go ahead.
But this is why I say, first of all, the blame goes throughout the whole team. I'm not saying that one side gets more blame than the other. I'm just saying that defense dictated the tone of the game, and it did not change from there. And yes, they gave up points. But if you expect Adi to win every single game by outscoring the other team, what do you expect? Eventually, he's going to break apart. And that's what happened in this game. He had opportunities, and he couldn't get it done. But my thing is, the defense didn't stop him until late in the second half. That is terrible. I don't care what you say about if the defense gave up points and all of that and whatnot. But my thing is, 5 straight touchdowns that you give before you make a stop. I don't care how bad the defense is. You're not winning a championship like that at all. Remember the saying, offense wins games. Can you finish the statement?
Defense wins chips.
Yes. And did the defense win a chip this game? I mean, the answer's obvious. So, what else is there to say?
Listen. Let me explain to you. Because, as always, I got to kind of school you.
Go ahead.
I agree with what you're saying. Underrated was 2 for 6.
Yes.
2 for 6 offensively. Yes. They got stopped 3 times in the red zone. 2 of them were interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
One, Henry was able to knock the ball out because the ball was thrown bad. Yep. Henry, like I said, the reigning defensive player of the year. That guy plays tackle. You beat him on the route, going to the outside here. He was able to get his hand in because the ball's behind Swiss, knock it out. Early in the game, Adi missed the throw to Ed, made Ed move away to try to make a catch. Ball is tipped, picked off here by Henry. Then on this drive here, they get to the red zone again. He throws a mat in the back of the end zone. It's going to be picked off by Khalil.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make mistakes in the red zone in EHS. It's all about scoring. Right.
Yeah.
EHS is a scoring league.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
You can't go all the way to the bank and don't deposit the check. It makes no sense. So what's the point?
I got you.
And then on the other side of the defense, on the defensive side, yes, the defense got schooled. The defense did not adjust. Carver came out looking to attack Shen.
Yeah.
They went after Shen. And sometimes, me, if I'm Swiss, I have to take Shannon out and move Shannon to the corner and put Matt back there because at least Matt gives me height and the ability. You put Dev at the giver, he wasn't able to bring no pressure on Chuck. And also, the other thing about the offense, when I coached SYS a few years back, and we played IOD in the Elite 8 with Adi starting, we knew to beat Adi, you got to take away his confidence early.
Yeah.
We did, and IOD ended up putting in Slasher, who came back in the game. Mm-hmm. And we ended up beating them on an extra point where I believe Machine made the sack as they was going for the win. You got to take Adi's confidence away early.
And that's exactly what happened.
Did that. They did that. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, they got to adjust and make plays. Yeah. This offense and this team, this defense, they miss Mo and they miss Pablo. Two key contributors to that team, especially Pablo on the defensive side of the ball. One thing about Carver is, and you got to give him props, not only did Chuck prove he's still a GOAT, Pam's upgraded.
Yeah.
Henry's not getting thrown out of games anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Henry was not even talked about offensively this game.
Yeah.
West is still able to do it, but the supporting cast that they have on his team, Lil could be starting on offense. He's coming off the bench offensively. They got They got the other West. They got Reem. This team upgraded their talent.
Yeah.
And these guys are all young. Davin, all these guys are young.
Yeah.
So you got to give it to them on their recruiting.
It's funny.
Unfortunately, it cut into cable guys playing time.
Yeah.
Last year, we seen Bo killing, kind of move Bo out, and they got these other guys. But everybody's here to play their role. Yeah. And this team showed, even though they're older, and look what else they brought. They brought Nas back this year.
Yeah.
Nas wasn't with them. So what they did was they upgraded. The veterans kind of found a fountain of youth in Chuck. And they're attacking. It's going to be hard to beat this team because now the U plays Carver and Expo. They got, I believe, the guy named King.
Yeah.
From Street Ball. And he could be the best player in football. So they got Jaquan out there. This team is dangerous. Listen, love or hate Pants.
Yeah.
Even as a ref, I hate doing his games. The coach Pants. But the GM Pants, he had a home run. And the thing about it is, these guys are loyal. On the other side, Underrated have a lot of thinking to do. They got to figure out what they're going to do to get this team to the next level. Now, we're not going to disrespect them because they made it to the championship team.
Yeah.
They bumped off two good teams in YMM and Super Friends. Super Friends were the defending champions. But they didn't have Milo, but we're not going to get into that. But, and Corey came late in the season. So they beat two good teams. Mm-hmm. The problem is they got to start realizing, Carver's upgrading. And you got to figure out, listen, you got to find a way to get Shannon the ball more. Matt just got hurt. I think he broke his tibia or his femur, one of those he put up. So he's down. So at the end of the day, Swiss got to make some tough decisions. And at the end of the day, I need another guy on this team to step up. I need another guy on this team to not put everything on Swiss' shoulders to make a big play. We seen Swiss with a pick 6 in Expo to win the game versus YMM when the game was practically over. But these other guys got to step up. I need Akon to do something. I need Shannon to do something. I need Dev to do something. I need BG to do something. Buck was trying. Trying. He didn't get the ball enough.
Yeah.
They brought CJ on this team. I didn't see anything. So I need to see, and Adi is too much of a veteran, especially coming off of an MVP season. 35 touchdown passes.
Come out flat.
You already
like that,
put up 38, 32, and then you come to the chip game and you put up 13. You don't score the first half in the whole game. You go scoreless, 3 possessions, you go 0 for 3 and get stopped twice in the red zone.
Yeah.
3 times combined, those 2 picks, can't do that. The last time, and this is the thing I'm gonna hit you, and I'll get you back before we wrap it up. The last time Adi threw 2 touchdown passes, the U lost in the regular season versus LES. Then he put up 19 points.
Yeah.
Adi threw 3 picks that game in the regular season. And you know what's the biggest dilemma about this game? These teams didn't meet up in the regular season. So Underrated was not ready for this Carver firepower. You know who that happened to last season? Carver and Super Friends. Carver didn't play Super Friends in the regular season. So they was not ready for that Super Friends firepower. Sometimes the regular season games do matter. Mm-hmm. And it mattered this game. Ali came out flat. And to be a league MVP and do what you did in the chip, now people's going to question your greatness. Nobody's going to take away what you did in the regular season.
Yeah.
But to be able to put a game away and at least make it close, at least make it a possibility. We even seen Bama come back last week versus Carver and end up getting stopped going for 2 to tie the game after they played terrible in the first half. The U did not play like they were ready to put Carver out. They gave Chuck an opportunity to destroy them. They did not rotate right. Their man got beat. And Adi did not look like the league MVP.
Yeah. I just got one. Obviously, I said that, the defense kind of dictated the tone of this game, and they didn't play good. 2 touchdowns directly towards Shannon. A couple other plays that they could not stop in the red zone. Chuck catching people with fakes and all that. Listen, they struggled on defense, obviously. But the offense, one thing I got to say is it wasn't like Carver's defense was completely like impenetrable, meaning they couldn't get through. They got to the red zone multiple times in the first half.
3 times.
They could not
finish. Twice in the
first
half.
They could not seal a deal. You get a touchdown 2 out of those 3 times. This is a completely different game. You don't call out timeout on that last play before the Hail Mary, completely different game. So it's little things here and there they have to tweak. Buck needs to get the ball more. He just showed that he is a guy that needs to be respected on this offense. Usually he is, but on this one, he was looked off a lot of times. Shannon got to know that if they're going after me, I got to switch up. I got to swallow my pride and play the best position I can play to help my defense. We got to switch it up. Me personally, I think that Shannon's better on that position. Like in this game, playing the gaps. You know, on the drive, he's able to cut off routes and make some plays, step in on the ball, and make a big play. When Shannon gets a play like that, that's pick six instantly. So he's more effective on plays like that, on the routes and the slots, anything like that, where he can jump the route. He's more effective there, in my opinion, than in the corner being isolated or in the safety where he's being beat because he's not reacting enough and he's outsized. So my thing is this: nothing against Shannon, great defender and all, but when you're not in the position to make a play, the whole defense has to adjust and shift. That big play with BG, that was a play that was disappointing to see right there because everybody was locked up but BG. And what happened? The guy that he was supposed to be locked up on is the guy that was left open. So little things like here, like you mentioned, you know, Pablo was missed in this game. Mo was missed. Pablo, a two-way player who could have helped them on the offense, been another target for them. Mo, same thing. So the same way that Carver has guys that are athletic that can get the ball, you had that. I'm not going to blame it on the fact that they missed these two guys, but they did. And it showed on the field. You know, it showed them why Adi wasn't able to seal the deal in a lot of red zone plays. So hopefully they're able, because I think that it's not that they don't have the personnel to match this Carver team. They do ultimately. It's just when you need to, you got to make the adjustments that you need to make things work. They didn't do that, especially on defense, and that's why they lost the way that they did.
All right, we're gonna wrap this one up. We got another big game coming with Carver versus the U and Expo. So the U has a chance to do it over. Expo's a little more difficult because you only have 6 offensive players to 7. It's multiple first downs. So that's a game, you know, to change it up. So they have
and
a chance to redeem.
They have another game actually EHS against the Jungle Boys
in the D1. Well. Yep. So at the end of at the end of the day, like you said, they have to. They already showed that they're still a dominant team. Yeah, we're not saying that, but they didn't put themselves in the position to win the game, and I think they all waiting for Swiss to make a huge play to get the momentum going. And I need the other guys to step up, and I think that guy, with all the talent that they have, it has to be Shannon. Shannon can score anytime he touches the football. I need Shannon to not worry about what people are saying. I need Shannon not to worry about social media. And I need Shannon to go back to being one of the most talked about players in football. It seems like once you took away the kickoff, nobody's really talking about Shannon. Shannon has the ability to be a top 5 player in the game because every time a player gets the ball, they're looking to pitch the ball to Shannon for Shannon to score. But either he has to go get to the gym and get some more size if you want to play that position. That way nobody can box him out. Or he has to find a way to move to the corner and that has a sideline to ice to give him some help because a back shoulder throw, any one of those plays, he can jump over the top. You have safety help. They have to find a way because if you isolate him on the safety position, there is no help coming. And we saw that happen that Carver attacked him. Great strategy by Carver Mobb. Great strategy by Chuck, who said he watched film. Great strategy by Pams, who allowed the team to go. He kind of gave them a leash, let them do what they want, and they had to take over when they needed to. But at the end of the day, this team showed that they're still the best team in football because they upgraded that staff. Other guys on the sideline, unfortunately, cut into their playing time, but they won another championship. So we're going to wrap this up. We're going to thank EHS for the opportunity. We're going to thank them for giving us a chance to go over this game. You know, the guys asked us. We wanted to do it as a special. You know, we usually be involved in the leagues, but we wanted to do this like we did last year for Super Friends and Carver Mobb. So we're going to wrap this up. Much love to y'all. We're going to wish good luck to the U. Good luck to Carver in the championship game in Expo. By the time this video come out, you already have a champ between Jungle Boys and Undarated. So good luck to both those teams with that, but you'll have a champ already. But hopefully Undarated watches this video, watches their mistakes and realize you got to sometimes have your pride and say, you know what? Not again. Won't happen again. I won't lie, it happened again. I'm going to die on the field for my team. Not literally, no nobody dying, but that's what you need to do. So we're gonna wrap this one up. On behalf of Real Tough Talk, Stephen J, my partner Ghost, we're gonna see y'all guys on another episode of Real Tough Talk. Much love, y'all. Stay blessed. Happy Father's Day. We out.